The Ministry of Foreign Affairs also says it's declared its Iranian diplomatic secretary in Bahrain a persona non grata and given him 72 hours to leave the country. Bahrain says its security forces have discovered a bomb-making factory and arrested a number of suspects linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Iran denies involvement in any violence in Bahrain. Well, I'm joined now from London by Shehabi. She is a Bahraini activist, author and blogger. Thanks for being with us on the programme. This, of course, isn't the first time that Bahrain has indirectly, I guess, accused Iran of interfering in its affairs.
Yes, I mean, as a Bahraini, I think we've lost count at this point. Over the last 4 years, there have been endless claims of Iranian involvement and interference. So the opposition is very sceptical about the latest claims.
What is it that Bahrain believes that some Iranians are doing in its country?
Well, it's always accused the uprising of being somehow instigated by external Iranian forces. And Bahraini protesters have always been accused of being Iranian agents. This is nothing new. But again, the opposition would claim this is some kind of distraction from the ongoing political and economic crisis that's raging in the country at the moment.
So actually, what you're saying is that that the government itself might be accusing Iranian influences, but actually those who were out protesting on the streets aren't under the influence of Iran. It's something that they've decided to do themselves.
You know, their motivations, there's never ever, this is, since the Iranian deal was announced 2.5 months ago, there's been an escalation in these kind of accusations and allegations against Iran, and so this kind of vacillation is not unusual. Obviously, there's an escalation in terms of the government actually deciding to officially cut all ties after having, earlier decided to resume normal diplomatic relations by return, because Bahrain's ambassador originally was withdrawn, I think, in 2011, and then he returned again. So this is, again, we have to understand this in the regional context and the domestic context. All of the opposition leaders in Bahrain are currently in prison or in exile. So there's really a leaderless opposition at the moment, and no one knows what the basis for these claims are. The village has been under siege for the last 24 hours. There were, the villagers in the area claimed that the government was kind of digging, and apparently it was kind of some kind of underground bunker and stuff. And this is really unusual in the history of Bahrain, in at least the contemporary history of Bahrain. So this kind of escalation, the accusation that the opposition will turn to violence at some point, unfortunately, is only likely to become self-fulfilling prophecy if they keep pushing the opposition, marginalizing it and cornering it until it does resort to some kind of violence, is unfortunately what this will lead to.
Shehabi, appreciate your thoughts on what's been happening in Bahrain, a story we will continue to cover closely.